Instead of starting this video with just me, I'm going to start it with someone that you might recognize. Take it away, Oprah.
Using whatever it is you produce, your product, as a way of giving back to the world. When you shift the paradigm of whatever it is you choose to do to service, and you bring significance to that, success will, I promise you, follow you.
There's one thing that I want you to take away from this video, and it's a business secret that if you get it right, you're almost guaranteed to become rich. But I'm not going to explain it to you just yet. I'm going to give you an example and see if you are able to figure it out first before the big reveal. The following is an excerpt from Tim Ferriss's interview that he did on his podcast with the co-founder of Airbnb, Brian Chesky, where he talks about an exercise that they did when they were starting up Airbnb. Take a listen.
So we thought, what would a 6-star experience be? A 6-star experience, knock on the door, the host opens, hey, I'm Reed, welcome to my house. You're the host in this case. And you would show them around, and on the table would be a welcome gift. It would be a bottle of wine, maybe some candy. You'd open the fridge, there's water, you go to the bathroom, there's toiletries, and the whole thing is great. That's a 6-star experience. And you'd say, wow, I love this more than a hotel. I'm definitely going to use Airbnb again. It worked.
Got the answer yet? If you do, drop it down below, and if not, keep watching. Hi, my name is Sorella Moore, and welcome to this Finance and Freedom channel. It is so nice to have you here. If you are brand new, please subscribe because we put out videos every Tuesday and Thursday, and the community is wonderful. Also, just a very simple ask, but if you could hit the like button if you get value from this video, because it helps us to get the message of finance and freedom out to more people, which we believe is a human right. Secondly, we have a newsletter that so many people actually rave about. It is actually just beautifully written short stories that are immersive and educational at the same time. So you get to just enjoy reading a story whilst learning. So subscribe. And finally, there is only 10 days left until the pre-sale of our course membership combo ends. Right now, you get a huge discount for lifetime access. After this, it is a yearly subscription. So if you want to find out more and become part of this membership and this community, then you can check out the link in the bio. And the audio that I played at the beginning, which was the excerpt from the Tim Ferriss podcast, it was Brian Chesky describing what they were going to do in order to make Airbnb a service that everybody would talk about. This exercise served a very important purpose. It was a creative exercise to get their minds working on one simple goal. How could they serve people better and give them a better experience? And business, as I've mentioned many times on this channel before, is nothing but service. So this video is about how you can be of better service to your customers. Creating great wealth for yourself is never about finances, funny enough. It's always about what kind of contribution can you make to as many people as possible. And in turn, whatever problem you are able to solve for as many people as possible will result in much wealth for you. Again, business is nothing but service. Even if you work for somebody right now and you don't have an intention of starting a business of your own, you can still increase your earning capacity by providing more value to your boss. So for example, you can figure out how to decrease costs, become more creative, get more clients, and in turn, it might be an opening for your boss to realize, whoa, this person is really valuable. Maybe I have to pay them better. Or say that you're a musician, because business is also in the artistic sense. Sometimes people freak out that, but I'm an artist, I am not a business person. What you're doing is business as well. Art, business, they're all a little bit intertwined, because when you're an artist, you want to get your message out there, just the same as a business person. You want to get your message out there. So with music, if you are able to create a full experience for somebody through the art that you create, immerse them so deeply into the experience through visual elements, through the sound, you are able to transport them out of a time that they might be struggling with, or maybe you can help them connect to their emotions better. That is so valuable. And as a result, if your music connects to people, you become more desirable that way. And on these examples go. With those examples set aside, let's talk about 3 ways that you can discover how to be more of service to your customer and how to solve bigger problems. Number 1, the no limits exercise. This exercise is to get you thinking about all the crazy possible ways on how you can serve your customer better and give them a better experience. And the name No Limits comes from the idea of not putting any limits whatsoever on an idea, even as crazy it might sound, unrealistic, but what could be something that is going to make your customer fall in love with your service. I've already shown you the example of what Brian Chesky did with the Airbnb experience. Basically, they pictured up in their minds what a 5-star experience would be. And they settled like, yeah, this is a really good 5-star experience. But then they thought to themselves, but what would a 6-star experience look like? They came up with some ideas of having a bottle of wine when you arrive, and at the same time, maybe you're also booked into the greatest restaurant in the city that you've just arrived to, which is usually booked out for months in advance. To them, this was like a 6-star experience. But then they thought, what would be a 7-star experience? They did this all the way up to when they reached the 11-star experience, which was when Elon Musk was going to take you out to space. Obviously, with this exercise, most of the ideas you come up with are completely unrealistic and unfeasible, and it would run your business to the ground. But that is not the point of this exercise. The point of this exercise is to get your creative juices flowing to help you come up with insane ways of how to serve your customer best. And whilst you're in flow, you might actually come across some ideas that are feasible for you to do. The point is to come up with insane ideas of how to make your customer a raving customer about your service. And you might actually stumble across some ideas that stick. Or at the very least, maybe you're going to come up with ways, actionable ways that are affordable within budget that you can actually execute on that will help the customer experience be so much better for your business that previously you would not have thought about. For example, let's take me, somebody that sells online courses. Let's say that every time somebody buys a course from me, I drive to their house, I write the login details on a piece of note, hand deliver them the login details, and tell them answer any questions that they might have about my course, and then also give them my personal phone number so that they can call me anytime and say, hey, I have some questions. But let's not just stop there. Also, every single person that buys a course from me also receives hundreds of dollars worth of organic wine, organic chocolate, and also a coupon to go to their favorite restaurant in the entire world. Now, obviously, most of these ideas are completely unreasonable and they would cost way too much and they would run my business completely to the ground. So I'll basically can't execute on any of these. But what are some of these things that I could potentially tweak a little bit to make them more reasonable and something that I could actually implement in my own business? So it is a little bit unrealistic to think that I could give people my personal phone number so that they could call me 24/7 about any questions that they might have. However, I could implement a 24/7 live chat where the customer support team is able to answer people's questions that they might have that they stumble upon whilst they're taking the courses. It's probably unreasonable for me to think that I could give away hundreds of dollars worth of organic wine and chocolates every time somebody buys my course, but what I could do, why did I do that? Is give away a copy of my book, Take Your Selfie Seriously, every single time somebody buys the Advanced Selfie University course that I have. And at the same time, they have a physical copy of this in their house that they can reference to. And it's always in the back of their mind of like, oh, right, Advanced Selfie, Sorrel's in the house. Now, this is a feasible idea because it only costs a couple of dollars for me to do, and it provides immense value to my customers. And having a book in your house is actually a very personal thing because you are letting somebody else's wisdom into your house and you're constantly thinking about that person as well, which means that the connection grows stronger, especially if you provide immense value within your work. By the way, these ideas that we have about the 24/7 customer service, as well as the giveaway of the book, these are actually something that we came up with when we were creating this video, Leon and I. So yeah, we're actually going to be implementing this. So yes, the exercise absolutely does work. So go crazy with this exercise. Pour yourself a drink, sit down, just brainstorm the craziest ideas you can think of how you can better serve your customers. And yes, of course, you're going to come up with ideas that are ridiculous, but let yourself go there. Just have fun with it. Nobody's going to really see it unless it's just you and your team. And you might find that there are some amazing experiences that you can provide for your customer that are completely within budget for you and that are going to give you a raving customer, which is something you absolutely want, serving your customer as best as possible. Number 2, under promise, over deliver. I am sure you've had somebody promise you the world when you're considering buying a product. And when you get the product, it is less than impressive. This is not the way that you win people over in business and serve them better. I'm sure you have heard this saying so many times in business, but you should always aim to under-deliver over... Why is that so funny? Over-deliver and under-promise. Yes. Within your own business, let's think about, is there anything that you could add into the sale, into the product or service that you're offering that the customer didn't necessarily pay for, but you can just add it along at the same time, making their experience just that much better. For example, after somebody buys a digital product from you, are you able to also send them in the inbox an extra report or PDF document with lots of valuable information that they didn't expect to receive from you? Or if you provide a high-end product service such as consulting, or you do a monthly service such as ad management, is there an extra report that you could provide your customer with that they weren't expecting to get from you? Or every month you could send them a handwritten letter and a bottle of wine to thank them for doing business with you. I actually used to send muffins every time to my sponsors whenever we renewed deals or anything like that, because I know that business is so much about who you work with and you want to have a really nice connection with the people you work with. So engaging in that and ensuring that I cultivate the connections was one of the most important things I did. And I can tell you, everybody that received muffins from me, and sometimes it was a big team, they loved it. They were super grateful. Oh, and I got huge deals re-signed because of that as well. That's awesome. It works. It's just basically asking yourself the question, what is it that you could add extra to the experience for the customer, a product that they weren't expecting, that you don't necessarily have to pay for, but it's going to make the experience for the customer just that much better. Not only are you practicing gratitude, which if you practice gratitude for what you have already, you're going to go get more to be grateful for. So by sending the muffins out to people, I legitimately was really grateful for their business. It was such an amazing thing that they wanted to deal with me. I mean, a few years ago, this was a dream to have them as customers. So of course I wanted to celebrate that, and that got them talking, and that got them renewing the business with me. And if you're someone really nice to work with, they will refer business your way, or they will talk about your service with other people. A simple way that I over-delivered at the beginning of my YouTube journey was that I used to search a lot of YouTube videos that were covering the topics that I wanted to cover off. And I noticed that a lot of these videos oftentimes were just covering off a small section, and I packed information into my videos. I try to get as much as possible, as many times as possible, and I also gave away people free downloads. If they watched my video, that particular video, they could also get the discount, which other people wouldn't have received the discount, or there was free downloaded reports that people would also be able to get through watching my videos, and I would just like squeeze in a little bit of value here and there that people weren't expecting from normal YouTubers, because I wanted to reward the people that were there as my clients, I suppose. And some of these weren't even my clients yet, they were potential customers, but they were watching my videos, which was helping obviously the algorithm and so much more. So I want to constantly figure out, how can I make people feel special? Because we all want to feel special. That's a really big thing. We just want to be loved and celebrated for who we are. Number 3, what doesn't exist? As I've said, business is nothing but service. And is there a way that you can make something faster, easier, more convenient, better for a customer? So that includes identifying a gap in the market. So when one of my first businesses I tried to make work, it was called Pin Up Passion, and it was an online vintage space on all things related to the 1950s glamour. Now, the reason I stumbled across this idea is because there was so many views and searches on Google. People wanted to know information about this topic, but there was no one space that people could go to get all the information that they wanted about this topic. And so I filled in the market. I made people's lives easier because I made this information that they were seeking available to them. Right now, I think I've also stumbled across an idea here in Iceland that I don't see people doing, and there's a huge need for it. So I'm just exploring this idea further because people want this service and no one's providing it. This is potential for me to explore. I'm not going to say it yet because obviously I don't want anybody else to come across this idea just yet. What is it that doesn't exist yet that you realize that should exist, but for some reason doesn't exist? Is there something, even if it's a minor thing within your business, even if it is in your business, something that isn't usually done and it's not as per your industry, so you should stay away from doing that? Can you cross over industries? For example, when I was starting out YouTube, lots of people didn't do courses. Almost no one did courses back in the day, because I think a lot of people thought that YouTubers are YouTubers and then marketers are marketers and they can sell courses. And I come from a marketing background. So I was like, wait, why don't I just cross over these worlds and poof, and now we know how many people sell courses. But by creating these courses that people legitimately wanted, I saved so many people from the heartaches of, for example, how to build up an online profile for themselves, because I created the Public Figure Bootcamp, taught all the information I've learned over time, how to become a self-portrait person, learn how to take your own photographs. I taught them in one beautiful space with a community all around it. Yes. That's it from me. I am intrigued to know how many of you are business people and how many of you are employed, how many of you are thinking about getting into business and you find these videos quite helpful, because we're obviously trying to find the good balance of people working for somebody else and not, and we're trying to provide information for a big market until we figure out what is the most suitable information for as many people as possible, because we always want to be of service. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like. It helps us out tremendously. Also, that newsletter that so many people rave about, link in bio, and only 10 days left until the pre-sale of our course membership combo runs out, and then it's a yearly subscription. So what are you gonna do? If you want to find out more and get lifetime access for a huge discount, link in the bio, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me.